All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of After the Match podcast. I'm Samuel Lyon. I'm elated to come on here for the first time in a while. It's been since episode 19 we dropped. It's been crazy since WrestleMania review and recap with the crew and the boys. Today it's no different. I'm here and I hopefully could get some of the boys in here. But if I don't, I'm sure I have someone that would be able to stick with me for a great conversation here, and we were doing a little bit of get to know each other here because this is the first time.
Yeah, that's
Not
good.
only is it his first time here on the After the Match podcast and on Elo Media and as part of Sports Media, Sports July Network, but this also his first time, talking to me, and we're getting to get in on everything. So please make welcome to the podcast, the pro wrestling side of things here on Elo Media. Please welcome Rigwan. Rigwan, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so before we went live. I was just trying to tell you that like my name, the Ekbe in meaning lion, also means it has various roots with the cross Riverian side of things, and
Okay.
it's really yeah in Calabar because I reside in Calabar. So when I was it Samuel, I go with Samuel Lion. So I had to curate Samuel Lion because of the podcast. When I started in 2020, I started the podcast during the pandemic, and it was a wrestling centric podcast called Before the Bell
Okay.
podcast. And over the years, I transitioned to the Chronicle podcast, which is now a standalone podcast on its own, which we dropped I think episode 17, if I'm not mistaken, today. If it's not 17 episodes since 2020, because we're like, wait, you've done 17 episodes 2020? No, we've done almost almost 200 episodes of shows
Wow,
ranging from podcasts, interviews, and all. But
that's
as
great.
of 2026, yeah, thank you so much. As of 2026, I was like, YouTube has been the game for years, but I never had the capacity to launch in. And I'm someone that wants to always go into something with my full ass. I don't always want to have asked anything. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna join until I feel comfortable and I feel like I can get some certain things. So when I was like 2026, I'm going all in. So we had to rework everything, rebrand everything, re-strategize. So now I'm like, I need to have a wrestling show. The wrestling podcast needs to be on its own. The interviews needs to be on its own. The
That's a
critique and
great idea.
review shows needs to be on its own. So, but we need to house it on one channel. So we are on Spotify as always, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and also now on YouTube. So I launched on YouTube officially this year, as of last year, 25 December, but began fully and beginning of the year, kicked off really. And I've been pushing out episodes. So I believe we did. I need to confirm. Rigwan, you hold on with me. That's why it is a live show because we need to confirm
Okay.
with everybody. Yes. So I did. This should be episode. No, let's get this. Let's get this facts straight. Yeah, officially we did. We are at our episode 17 of the Chronicle podcast since the year started. So we've done 17 interviews. That's 17 personalities from DJs to pageant kings to entrepreneur to music artists to like literally we've been going around the clock, and we still have this week alone. Starting from today, Tuesday, we dropped episode 17. Episode 18 goes out tomorrow, Wednesday. An episode will go out on Thursday,
Wow.
episode 19. So we have like 20 episode 20. This week has been back, it's gonna be back to back.
That's
So
great.
like I'm so elated getting to do this, and I'm just trying to get you abreast of everything we do here. So
Okay.
I rescheduled to the Chronicle podcast. So the Chronicle podcast is an interview-based podcast. We talk to guests. I talk to guest personalities. Get to know what makes them tick, how their experience, their journey is basically me chronicling the experience, the journey of whomever I have on screen or in front of me. I've been doing a lot of physical interviews. I've done virtual too. It was actually going to be virtual, but like obviously the YouTube game you need to get into in line.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm putting in yeah, I'm putting in a lot of physical interviews in. We'll be doing some virtual interviews also, but for now we'll be pushing a lot of physical interviews, and I want to keep it that way unless guests that needs to be done virtually, which most of my guests virtually, I have not booked them yet. So it's been crazy. That's for the Chronicle podcast. And then for after the match podcast, the wrestling podcast, I'm supposed to have put out episode every week, but some weeks are just fucking crazy. Sometimes things life be life in, and you just can't really do it. And I don't want to always show up not feeling myself. Even if I show up, at least I need to show up feeling okay. I can do this. I don't always want to push myself, and then come in here and rush through the show or not even do good. So yeah, but I'm celebrating our 20th episode of the year. This is episode 20 of After the Match podcast, and you are joining us for the first time, Ridwan, and I'm so excited to have you on here. But first off, I would need to give you your flowers. Thank you so very much for taking time to join us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
A little bit behind the scene, this is the first time I'm getting to even interact with him. So
Okay.
we are gonna get to know each other throughout the discourse of this show today, and obviously after the show, get to talk and all of that. So, Rigwan, welcome to the show. How are you fucking doing?
Thank you very much. I'm good.
All right,
I'm
all
doing
right.
pretty
So,
well.
oh yeah, so it's after the match podcast. It's a wrestling podcast. So I want to start off with you, as I always do with whoever joins me. What do you want to talk about? Where do you want to start? I will start wherever you want to start.
Okay, since it's a wrestling podcast, I would say let's discuss about the forthcoming pay-per-view this
Okay.
weekend. That's WWE Backlash, and
Yeah.
or or rather, let's start from giving WrestleMania reviews
All
in
right.
general.
So we did the episode 19. We did a full show, almost I believe 2 hours plus, reviewing WrestleMania.
Okay.
But since this is your first time joining and the opportunity to to kick off the show and tell us what we need to talk about, then I believe we need to give you the floor. So we'll get right into where you want us to start. So let's start with the WrestleMania review. So how was WrestleMania 42 to you? Because a lot of people we had a lot of controversial takes here on the show
Okay.
the last time we were on live. So, but in your own perspective, I want to know how Rigwan took the show, because we even compared it to last year. And we're like, as crazy and bad as last year was in certain situations and like the ending and all of that, compared to this year, everybody came up saying, nah, I would still pick last year over this year, but not to influence your opinion or that. Um,
Okay.
I don't know where you are located. I will want to know where you are located. I want to know who is Rigwan, and then want to get you to start off like, okay, your take on WrestleMania overall, and let's get us started. Let's get the conversation going. Yeah, Rigwan, take the mic.
Okay. First off, let me give a quick introduction. Like my name is Ridwan. I'm
Yeah.
from Edo State. That's the reason I asked for the
Wow.
meaning of your name, Ekpe, because we have it now in my language, and it means
Wow.
tiger. So they are very synonymous.
Oh,
See, it means tiger
yeah.
in
To
my
the like,
language.
that's
You see, they are very
crazy.
synonymous. So that's the reason I was like, "Are you from Edo State?" So I'm from Edo
So
State.
so you so could I go with Samuel Tiger on the show when you are on? When Rigwan is on the show, you should address me as Samuel Tiger, yeah.
It's a nice one. It's a nice one.
Yeah.
So I'm from Edo
Okay,
State,
good.
and I'm here for the wrestling show. So anything about WWE wrestling in general, I'm fully active. So
Okay.
about WrestleMania 42, I'll just say my I'll be straight with it. So night one, I'll say
Okay.
night one was more of an average event. It wasn't that good
Okay.
or it wasn't that bad also.
Mm.
The only problem I can like pick up from it is that most of the matches were like rushed in a way, they were short than
Mm-hmm.
expected. Yeah, but I think night two in a way kind of covered for it.
Okay.
Understand? So the matches were
Yeah.
good. The matches were good, and for 92, I would say my favorite match for 92 should be Oba versus Brock. Yeah, but it was quite very predictable that Brock will lose at WrestleMania. But the only unexpected part was Brock's retirement. You get, so I think it
It-
was an amazing match. Yeah, but still
okay.
it was very predictable. It was very predictable, and the main event was very amazing. Like, it was shocking. It was a banger. You get it.
As the
So
kids would say.
yeah, it was a banger. So I'll let's say, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So let's say now that Punk has lost the title and we have the tribal chief in charge again. So let me start by asking: do you think we are we have a dominant reign upon us again?
You know, first off, I want to say thank you for giving us your review there, and I'm grateful to meet another Edo State person here. I grew up with an Edo State godfather here in
Wow.
Calabar since 2015. I met him over the years, and we've been family all of these years. I go home every weekend. He's the reason why I love pro wrestling so much. Not the one that
Wow.
really introduced me to pro wrestling, but he's the one that made the love for wrestling because he made sure that we had every cassette of wrestling. Like wrestling was what brought me and him together, and that is what has kept us together all of these years. And I've always gone home to his house every day, every week to watch wrestling with the family for over 12 plus years, since 2010. So it's almost,
Wow.
let's call it's almost a decade plus. And I've never missed being with family and watching wrestling because of him. Shout out to my pops, Engineer Salami Kelly. Is
Wow.
from Esako West. Is from
Ah, that's
Esako
my
West.
local government.
Oh, that's the local
That's my
government.
local
And
government.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm trying to I'm trying Edeki. I'm trying to get the village. Right now my brain, so it's from Esako West. And damn, how did I miss the village? So but without him, I'm not sure
Is it
Silver
Auchi?
Lion will be. Oh my God! Yes.
That's my town.
That's crazy. And I've been to Edo State once, doing his only sister's traditional marriage. And that was years ago. Like that was fucking like that was years. I've not even like maybe 210, 211, like maybe 212 each. Like that was years ago, man. And that was my first time in Edo State. That was my first time in any village in Edo State. And we went to the village, the outside, the Saka West side, the outside, their village, and they're like 20 boys and one girl. So 21 kids, one girl, and she was the one that got married. Different moms, same one dad. And their dad was late at that time. So my godfather took us there and everything. The best pound. I think the best fufu I've ever had in my entire life. All of these years, they pounded fufu like it doesn't stink.
Yeah.
It's good. It feels good in the hand. Like everything is just fucking perfect. Like the soup. I don't even know what soup I ate that day, but I'm like that night. But I'm
It
like
should be
that
granite
was
soup.
like, oh, it may be. Yes, I think that was because that was my first introduction. He's my introduction to granite soup. And like everything, I
That's
couldn't
it.
tell you my experience. I had to swim. I mean, for those that are just joining in, welcome to After Match Podcast. You'll be like, what's going on here? This is no wrestling show. just get on board. We'll get there. We are getting there. Like had like the best time, and it was in the village, and I think we just lasted for like a couple of days, and we went home, and I would want to like experience Edo State of Benin City as a whole. But yeah, so that was just it. So because of him, shout out to him and his family and our family, Mr. and Miss Salami Kelly. His wife is in the police. He's also involved in the force. Like everything's just crazy. They have two kids now, so I have two little sisters now from the family. So my godparents have been so immaculate in my life in the wrestling world, and usually make sure I get cassettes. So I used to have cartons of cassettes. Although my godmother
Wow.
burns them, I till now nothing pays me. I was like, that was crazy. She was like, I was trying to create space. I'm like, you should have bought my clothes, not the wrestling CDs. Like I
Not the
can
rest of
honestly tell
series.
like you can buy anything else, not the wrestling CDs. And I still, even after all of these years, I still hold grudge. I'm like, ma, I love you, but damn, like I can't get over the fact that you bought them CDs. You bought them
Oh yeah,
DVDs.
that's it.
I had to save up some, which the kids try to watch till now. And over the years, we've graduated from Go TV to all of this, and now on Netflix and everything. And I get to go home with laptop, with iPad, get them to sorry with the tablet, get them to watch as a family every week. Put Raw, put SmackDown, and the pay-per-views we watch together. Sometimes I had to, avoid, delete all my social media platforms or freeze everything just to avoid spoilers, and then get to watch with them with the organic feeling. Or I'm like, sometimes I'm like, damn, I just can't wait. I watch live and then go home and put on the show. Please, I hope they don't see this, and then I'll pretend as if I've not watched the show, and I'll be watching with them reacting again, and I'm like, damn. But that's what we do for this. But um all of this to get to the first thing you said in terms of Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, because I
Yes.
personally, you said it was predictable, and the first thing I came to my mind, like, was it really predictable? Because I would venture to say it wasn't, in like from my own perspective, looking at the side that um we all hope they will do the right thing and have Oba go over. But with the rumors of, like, Brock might retire in his home state in Minnesota, with WWE going to taking SummerSlam to US Bank Stadium
Yeah.
in Minnesota. I was like, oh, he's gonna retire there, and Oba Oba just came in full time on the main roster. Like everything was just like, you were like, oh, but they were putting Oba over all of the weeks, and you're like, I mean, come on, wrestling 101. When you go over throughout the build to the feud, you are losing at the pay-per-view. When so we were like,
That's
oh
true.
shit, like yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I kept on telling the guys, and I'm like, I mean, this needs to go only one way. Like, Oba doesn't like Oba can't lose. Like he doesn't need, like he needs the win.
Yes.
Like
He
anything,
needed the win. He needed the win
but
actually.
losing. I just didn't see them. Like, no, 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 no. It is so we were like, but that was predictable. Like, how would, like, you mean he would literally Brock Lesnar all through the field to. So I'm like, well, that's what he did. And I actually made a joke here where I was like, all I need is the bell rings, they attack each other, he picks him up, power bombs him, done. And they were like, you are crazy for even thinking that. I'm like, that's how it needs to go. So we did not get it that way, but either way, he won.
And
But
yeah,
for some
it was a great match. It was a great match.
it was a great moment. And for some weird
Yeah.
reason, I felt like they took away from, yes, Oba still got the win, but you know what they say in wrestling, you remember what happened last. So, but like immediately I saw what happened there with Brock. Literally, was he in tears or something? And Brock was pulling his boots, and like Brock was
Yeah. It
like
was
is
very
he retiring?
emotional.
Like that was exactly. I'm like, bro, I'm 26. Like, don't do this to me. Like, not like, even for me, like, and we've since last year we have one retirement after the other. Like, I just need a break. Like, can a boy just catch a break? And
For
they're
real.
like, Brock Lesnar, how? And you are just trying to process that everything, and they just remember, like, I'm just high right now. Oh, but I just won. I'm like, we fucking did it. I'm like, huh? And I felt like that moment took away from Oba, and not saying that Oba is gonna, but like I just feel like, Brock, you chose the worst night to leave. And I
Yeah,
for
that's
some
true.
reason I didn't really, thank God that they had the ladder match next, but I couldn't really get back into the show up until even like to the main event with Roman and Punk, because I was still caught up with the, yeah,
With
Brock.
Brock's
Like,
retirement.
yeah, so I wouldn't really say it was to, in my own perspective, it was predictable because I was like, I mean, they could fuck this up. I mean, it's WWE, it's Triple H. Like, he could just, Oba should lose, I will build him back up. That kind of shit. So, like, I wasn't like, I wanted him to win. I needed him to win, but I was like, I know for sure that I'm just not really putting my head into it. Like, this boy might lose. So yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
get you, but the thing is,
mm,
it's the fact that Brock retired. It wasn't predictable. So the only thing I would say was predictable was the fact that he lost to Oba.
okay.
For some time now, Brock has been putting people over. The younger generation from his match with Cody Rhodes, the way he put Cody Rhodes over. Like, he has been like pushing the younger generations forward. So it was
Yes.
like quite very, very expected that Brock would lose to Oba at WrestleMania, but we never expected that he would take off his boots. So that was the most shocking part of that show.
And I know you said, you mentioned it was emotional. Like, could you,
Yeah.
like, in your, like, what was in your, like, I don't know if you what did you watch the show live? Let me know. Let me start
Y-
from there. Like, did you watch the show
Yes,
live,
yes, yes.
or
Yes, I did. I did.
okay? So,
It
meaning,
was
if you're watching the show live, that means you don't get to wake up in the morning and somebody was sending you to, oh, bro, retire, oh, bro. So I mean, so now you're watching live, and you see that happen. What's the first thing in your mind? Like, how are you feeling? And you mentioned emotional. I'm like, okay, so I want to, like, get into that. Like, how would you really pinpoint that?
like like the feeling was you won't even know how to feel
Yeah.
because Brock is not is not the regular type of athlete you get. If you
Yes.
understand it, it's you someone like Brock comes once in a while. So we don't know when we can get someone else that can fit his shoes. But let's see if they can book Oba in a way that he can in a way that he can
Transitioning.
suit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Can you continue, continue, continue?
So I said, let's see if they can book Oba in a way that it can probably console people for Brock's retirement. Yes,
Okay.
because Brock is not your regular type of performer. He was
Yes.
absolutely dominant from the beginning of his career till his match at WrestleMania. Even for the matches that he lost, he never disappoints. That's one thing about him. He never disappoints in his matches. So
And
let's just be hopeful about that.
I hear you say this, and I really trying to go through my notes here and trying to also, be able to, you know, make awareness, post on social media on that we are live and all of that. But at the same time, I hear you say this and I acknowledge it because we have not really had this moment where we're like, we are thanking Brock, thank you, Brock, here on the podcast, talking about this
Yeah.
whole thing. And I know for sure, in terms of, I know we're going to go out talk about somebody else that, like, literally, kind of like wanting to have the Brock schedule, but I'm grateful with what we're about to have with him. I just saw a post about, like, he's going to be around for he's saying he's going to be here throughout the summer. And they just released the dates that Roman is going to appear on all Raw leading up, like, throughout the month of
Yeah.
May. It's coming on, it's
Yeah, I
coming to
saw
work.
I saw that also.
Yeah, so you see something like that, parlaying back to Brock. And Brock has been a feature in the company for years, even with the sex scandal, with the Vince McMahon scandal that happened and
Yeah.
all, and he had to go away for 2 years and all of that. But he still came back, controversy and all of that. But Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. I think he has to be one of, if not the only person that, got, literally meddled and brought in that issue, that, the fans were still able to, like, we understand that, Brock and everything, but they still kind of like, they can separate the man from the talent that is Brock Lesnar. And that says a lot about the kind of athlete and the kind of superstar that he is. And you look at the track record of people that Brock has been able to put down and put over, and we won't even have the Cody Rhodes today if not for the feud that Brock was able to what Brock was able to do for him after what Vince did, all of that with Cody, with the end with Cody losing at the first WrestleMania coming back. And then we talk about Drew McIntyre, what Brock was able to do for Drew McIntyre all through that feud. You could see, we see call
Yeah,
back to the
it was
moments we remember
amazing.
when Drew, yeah, Drew, literally like he took the Claymore in during the Royal Rumble as if his life depended on him. Brock took that as
Yes,
if
exactly.
rent,
I
like
can
his rent
remember
was,
that.
like he took that shit flush, flew
It
out there,
was like
landed perfectly, and made
he
Drew
completely
a
sold
fucking
that
super.
move
Yes, he sold. I mean,
completely.
if Brock told me at that time that his rent was due and he was being evicted, so he had to
Uh
do that to get that money, I would believe because that man sold for Drew. He actually dominated that match throughout. And then with leading up to the WrestleMania match with pandemic and everything, but before that, you could see another moment that fans picked up where he had Drew attacked him outside doing the entrance ramp there, and you could see Brock visibly shout, pick up the belt, pick up the belt, pick up the title, pick up the title. And the fans really picked that up, and I think a video came out like, Brock was really, I mean, Brock was selling and still trying to put like, bro, you need to be put over, and he did same for Obafemi. And you get the moment where the picture that came out and you could see a tear roll down Oba's face because Oba
yes,
knew. It's as if Oba knew that damn, this man is about to do one of the greatest things. Like
yes,
this is the best somebody will ever do for me, and that's the legacy that Brock keeps. All of the legends, like are you talking about ending the Undertaker's undefeated streak? It's all of these
yes.
things,
That
and
was
Brock
like the
won.
most tremendous achievement.
And
Very
that has been like I don't even think him beating Cena for the two titles on SummerSlam,
yeah,
dominating Cena, not even doing one offense. Like literally came in, brutalized, and Brock Lesnar's John Cena during that event. But like you can't, it's a whole lot over there. So this is kind of like like my thank you to him because you that's the legacy that he has been able to build, and with what he has done for Oba, like I don't think even Oba wins championships and everything, nothing would ever come close to what Brock has done for him this past couple of months, and that has been something that I
that's
really
true.
wanted to get into. And you talked about WrestleMania one, the night one.
Night one.
Some people talked about night one, being the one of the major complaints. Yeah, shorter matches and more
Because
commercials and everything. You could see. I
yeah,
thought I talked about the press release that they did, the company did release and everything. It's all about money for them, and I know we're gonna get on a show on other topics that we're gonna before we
that's
get
just
to
the truth.
get into other topics that we're gonna talk on. But like it's all about money for them. And I'm not here as a fan, not saying that the company that I watch shouldn't make money because they need to make money so they'll be able to, give us the product that we
Yes,
get to watch.
yes,
But at the end of the day,
exactly.
it's as if over the years we've it's as if they've left what they were supposed to really focus on, which is the stories and the matches and the connections and the fandom and everything, and more focus on like ticket sales and all. Like it's just a whole lot, and that has just been it. And I felt like if not for Brock Oba and Roman Punk, WrestleMania would have been something
Yeah,
else. We wouldn't be sitting down here with like
exactly.
we'll
That's
be
just the
here
truth.
ranting and pulling out
That's
our
just the
hair.
truth. I totally agree with that because those are the two matches that like carried the entire WrestleMania 42. The only match that can come close to them now, I would say, is the ladder match. That's the only match that can
Yeah,
come
that was
close. But
yeah,
yeah,
that was just a fun.
the
That was
ladder
like
match
kind of like
was yeah,
that
it
was
was
just a
impressive
fun
actually.
thing. Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So, to get back to the show, let's get in on like the things, and obviously we had reviewed WrestleMania. Thank you for reminding, letting us go back there to refresh on. and I know some other match that we're not supposed to call. Paige came back. Paige came back on the show.
Yeah.
I know rumors were already out that Paige will be back and all. And yeah, on the after the match podcast, that's why it's called after the match podcast, because I'm like, it's not just centered on the. We don't really, I don't really want to talk about only the matchups and the stories and everything. I want to, like, get out after the match. What about the superstars? What about the wrestlers? What about the stories? What about the issues, the controversy, the craziness, and all their lives? I try to, like, get what a little bit of things I could get, to make it more amazing. You know, um, if you have not watched the episode I dropped on exclusive, we covered page return and everything going on. You can check that out. Another episode will be coming out, and we'll talk more on that. But I just wanted to address a little bit of that here with you. Looking at the um, Paige came back, and I don't know, as a fan of wrestling, you should be aware of all of the craziness that the girl has been through. With the situation with the Alberto, and leaving, with the drugs, I mean, like craziness, the sex tape, the all of that, it's just a whole lot. And having to come back and getting a second chance, and a sit down interview with Stephanie McMahon on our podcast, what's your story, really gave light to all of the craziness that she had to go through. And you could see Stephanie McMahon has been called out on on all levels about how she has been pivotal to the other women and other superstars
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
in the industry. And to see what she's been able to do for someone like Paige, and like you see Paige having a moment where she was like, "Thank you so very much for being there for me. Thank you so very much for checking in on me and not letting go." And it shows that side of, like, sometimes people work for you, but it shouldn't just be, oh, because they are, your co-host on the show, or they are just like your friends in school. Like, life should be out beyond that. And you saw what her relationship was, and to see what she went through, and get to the being general manager, breaking her neck, all of that, and not being clear by WWE, having to leave, go to AEW, thinking that that's going to work out, and that didn't really work out, and having the mind to say, okay, work, and then she leaves, and and then the opportunity came in, and then she talked about how she even got back to the company with somebody that knows the agent, that knows Nick Khan, getting to talk. Oh, great. Oh, well, yeah, Bad Bunny. Sorry,
Yeah.
not Bad Bunny.
That's
I'm sorry, my mistake. Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll. She
Jelly
was
Roll.
on Jelly Roll's wife's podcast, the Bunny podcast, and talking, and then Jelly Roll was like, Paige, I mean, come on, you ain't gonna come back to Lebanon and all that. And then Jelly Roll was able to talk to the agent. The agent talks to Nick Khan. Before Nick Khan was able to call her, and then they talk, and they're like, would you want to come back? But before that, we need to do your drug test. You need to go do your take out everything. And I think she had a video come out. And I think on the next episode, on the next episode of exclusive, not after the match, because I'm gonna explain that. We're gonna talk about that, just about the legacy of Paige or Saraya, however you want to call her. And then just having to see all that she had to go through to get to where she is, and then coming back to the company and having that moment at WrestleMania. I mean, come on. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, having to watch WrestleMania where AJ Lee, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, and Paige are on. It's like 2015 all over again. I'm like, the last time these
Exactly.
ladies were on the show together, that was 2015, 2016. AJ's last match. Funny enough, AJ
That's more than
tag
10
team with,
years.
yes, AJ tag team with
More than.
Paige to wrestle the Bellas at WrestleMania 31. Then 32, and Brie retired. Paige was not really there anymore, and all that shit. And then you look at how far they've come, and like, it's not that they are really that old, but like, you're like, Jesus. Like, I feel
And
like
that's
an old man right now. So talking about Paige, this was getting us to talk about Paige. Like, talk about Paige. Like, what was your reaction to you? Like, just getting on all of that.
yeah. It was already like a spoiler out there that she will be returning. So
Mm,
it wasn't really surprising because we already expected it. Understand? So,
yeah.
but I feel like it's not like her time has passed. I'm saying this in the most respectful way though, but I feel like the competition right now is not, it's not as it is back then. We have a lot
Okay.
of young and amazing performance at the moment in WWE. So it's gonna be really tough for her. Let's be honest. Except they are kind of being partial with the bookings, but if you are being factual, we know that it's really going to be tough for her because we have a lot of amazing performance at the moment in WWE
And we are
from
and about
um
the neck too. The neck too, it
exactly.
can also be a factor too, because they're like,
Yes,
yeah, girl, you are not old, but you're not young. It's sort of like
that's just it.
keeping up with the
We
Roxannes of the world, the Liv Morgans of the world, the Stephanie Vaquer of the world. Like that's a brutal style that I wouldn't even want Paige anywhere close to such competition. But like I know she might want to challenge herself. Like nah, I can still go, but girl.
Yeah, she's still quite very young. But
Yes, she is. She is.
we have way younger people around now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
from the look of things, we have someone like Ruka who just debuted yesterday, last night on Raw.
Yeah.
So that's also someone very amazing that we need to watch out for. So with people like Soruka, they have younger people. Liv Morgan is there. So many people from NXT, SmackDown, and on Raw. So it's really going to be a tough competition for her. But let's see how it goes. Let's see if her
Yeah.
run will live up to the hype of her
All
return.
right. So amazing. So welcome back, Paige. We love you over here. Getting to the backlash predictions. If you look at the notes, one of the big stories here on the podcast for today's episode, the predictions. But how we're gonna do the predictions? We're gonna get in on last night Raw, getting on some notes from SmackDown, getting on some things on SmackDown, so that we can tie in on the show. So we'll start off with the first match that I want us to talk about, and the personalities in that match: Danhausen, Miz, Kit Wilson, and a mystery partner. Um, you know, in a company where we have superstars that don't have a match. I mean, the United States Championship is not. The women's United States Championship is not on the line, and the IC belt
Yes,
is not
not
performing.
on the
Like we
line.
have champions that know that, but Danhausen, yes, Danhausen is on the show, and the Miz. When last did the Miz ever make it to a pay per view? The
Pay
last
per
time
view.
I saw Miz in the Premium Live event was against Gunther.
Yeah,
For I
that's
believe that was years ago. Like
it's
I
been
don't
a
even
while.
know
It's
how
been a
long
while.
it's been. Miz has not, and that's crazy. Like damn. So Danhausen has came in, debuted on a box, and the fans, literally went crazy. Like, nah, we thought it's gonna be Chris Jericho. We thought it's gonna be, everybody had their say. Oh, it's gonna be this, gonna be that, and kind of like felt like fans were disappointed that it was Danhausen, but the very next night, I believe Danhausen was able to win fans over, and he's been the hottest thing since sliced bread in the company. Making merch sales. Becoming a star. I mean, this man even got a segment on WrestleMania Night 2 with John Cena,
John
The
Cena,
Miz, like
the greatest of all
legends.
time.
Like you can say anything about The Miz, but The Miz is a legend in my books.
Yeah,
so
he is.
so
He is.
having to yeah, so having to be in that situation where you are having him there and all of the craziness that happened there on the show and everything that now has have to go through. He's having matches now because people are like, oh, is it just gonna be a comedy act? He's having matches, he's doing skits, he's crashing weddings, he's just literally being a star. That I mean, um, he's one of the best return on investment in a while. Aside from
Yes.
CM Punk when he came back into the company in 2023, I can't see who else has started paying back the money they paid him to bring him over. than housing. He's making money back over fist for
He
them.
is.
Yeah,
He's the
they're
only
really
one I
so.
can.
Yeah, I just feel so. So, your take on the match and everything. I mean, shout out to Kid Wilson, and like it's crazy to think how he will make a character like that work in 2026, where like I mean, come on, it's a crazy scene, it's a crazy, So for him to try and make something like that work, people are singing his song, people are doing the Kate Wilson with him. They are, they're literally, obviously we have toxic people around, and it's not just been fun and games. So what's the take on like the match, being added to WrestleMania card, fuck, a
Backlash.
backlash card, and a backlash actually, the backlash card, and so my prediction is Danhausen would win with his mystery partner, which I'm predicting might be CM Punk. Come backlash. Your take?
So I would say Danhausen have done pretty well for himself because when he first showed up, no one actually took him serious.
Mm,
Let's be honest. But I think he has done pretty well for himself, and we don't really know who his mystery partner is, but I think
yeah.
he is going to be someone we didn't expect. He's going to be someone we are not expecting. You understand? And
Yes. Yes.
so I'm with you with that on that. I think the win is going to Danhausen and his mystery partner.
But if you are guessing who the mystery partner is, because I feel it's CM Punk, that's my take based on the fact that they are friends, and the wrestling, the IWC, say, oh, CM Punk is really had a hand in Dan Housen coming over to WWE and all of that, and those craziness and all of that. So I'm just like, who do you think might be the mystery partner in your books?
Okay, for the mystery partner, I will still go with CM Punk because I think he's the closest to him I've seen for now. He's the closest to Danhausen I've seen. And the
Yeah.
fact that he's not on the title picture, he's not getting a rematch for his world heavyweight for the world heavyweight title he lost to Roman. So I don't know. It's most likely going to be CM Punk. I just feel that way. It's most likely going to be CM Punk.
And does that mean Punk now moves to SmackDown? Because I just feel like he has run his cost on Raw, having him move to SmackDown and then maybe moving someone like Drew McIntyre over to Raw so that they can avoid the Punk being discovered and everything. And then maybe have, you know, so we can finally have the Cody Punk match. What do you think?
Uh, so I think Punk would be very good on SmackDown because for now SmackDown does not have enough A1 performance compared to Raw. You get so I think
Okay.
it will be better for Punk to be moved to SmackDown and we can get that dream match that we all be waiting for. Punk and Cody. But I think
Yeah.
the match shouldn't be rushed. You can like go through maybe the Royal Rumble part, maybe Punk winning the Royal Rumble and challenging for the title, or maybe winning the Elimination Chamber and challenging for the title. So whichever way it is, it shouldn't be something they would rush into, so the fans can enjoy the feud and all storytelling.
Obviously, when it comes to booking long stem storytelling and dragging and talapering things, stories to end, Triple H really knows how to do that. And that's the one thing he knows how to do best, dragging out stories until you get tired of it. Um, so I think we had technical difficulties there with Wigwan being on the show. But like to get that's like the one thing that I was trying to get in on the show when I was talking about like the whole thing. Because when it comes to Triple H, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different thing. We have different circumstances and issues that pops up and all of that. And it's one of those things where you are like, what can you do? How can you get things done and all of that? And obviously Triple H has always been one to, to drag out things, drag out shoots and all of that. So before so in you know we'll go in on a short break, and we'll be back and try to get things set up here. And when we're back, we're gonna continue I'm gonna continue the conversation. Hey, so welcome back. So we try to get back in there to talk about it. So it's just one of those things, to getting back on the show. We did name drop Soroka. So Soroka is now part of Monday Night Raw, and I talked about the fact that Dan Housing is on the card where Becky is not defending. We're not having Women's United States Championship match there. No tag team match, no tag team title match on the show. If I'm not mistaken, no. So it's all of those things that one of those ones were like, okay, so we understand, company always wanting to do 5 match card, but sometimes they're like, I am can we get at least 6? WrestleMania only got 6 and 7. I know that's the sweet spot and all, but like WrestleMania show should be like have like at least 8 matches. Like 8 matches won't hurt. Having 8 matches, 9, understand? And then let's upgrade. So 26, let's upgrade from the 5 to 6. People like they should get 5 or 7 ish match, or 6, not 5, 6 or 7 ish match, and maybe 6 1 segment, 7 things, like, because I feel like with all of this money people have to pump in, from streaming to data to uh so all of the craziness and all. So it's one of those craziness that you have to deal with. And even right in on the show, you just look at things and you're like, okay, so how could you manage and I'm like, getting a bit flustered and all of the craziness and all that, like, yeah. So okay, so one of the things I wanted to also talk about here on the show. So yeah, all I'm saying is that I think we need to look more past this 5 match card, because I just feel like it's something that we need to look onto. So I know we're going to talk about this other person, but I'm going into the notes while we await for Rigwan to join back in on the show. Um, Going through my notes. So we have we're going on the people that have debuted. So Ricky Saints, formerly known as Ricky Starks, joined SmackDown, and I was expecting to see him. I before it was announced that they're going to debut this past weekend. I was able to see him a week before that. When Cody came out to give his rah speech, and I was like, how poetic would it be to have Ricky Saints join in and debut there before it was announced that they're going to debut the following week. And it was still nice to see. And this is one of those ones where you wish they had, had him just come straight to the main roster instead of doing NXT, because he was hot, and like it was a shock and all of that, having him come in and standing in that in like amongst the crowd doing that NXT show that Fable night, and having his who was that? Having his Lex Luger moment, all of that, and you could just imagine that was big. Everything was crazy. And I know with Cody had had him on where they talked about their friendship and all of the craziness that they have too. So like it's one of those things that that it's close to Cody and all, and you just knew, and Cody, he loved his boys, and you just knew that There was no way he's not gonna have that in. And I'm just like, with the legacy he's trying to build, and with all of the craziness that is going on with the company, and like all of the changes that is going on right now, the firings which we'll get into here on the show. Uh, it's one of those things where one of those things where you personally want to be like, oh, what's going on, and how could we, get back into things? Get back into things. Just give us a second. Okay, so yeah, so just having to have all of that be a part of the craziness, and not knowing how to deal with all of that. So now Rick Saint is here, and he had a match, had a promo with Cody. It went great, and then came in, was able to be a part of things and lost, and then Gunther debuted. I mean, would we call that debut? Debut. So Gunther like is on SmackDown now, and I don't know why they went right there, because of like the story that was going with Paul Heyman. Like, how are they gonna tie that back in? Like, you look at, like, it's been a whole lot of, that's why I say like there's been a lot of changes here on the show, that it feels so crazy personally, that you're like, so how would some of these things be tied together? And because obviously, it's pro wrestling, things could always be tied back together. And Gunther's situation is one of them, because you're like, he asked for a favor. He's like telling people, yes, yes. So it's just one of those ones where you look at the situation and you're like, how could you get back into things? How could you not, have crazy, like, it's just a whole lot. And this one of those ones that, like, you could just let it play out, because we already have a lot on our plate, and the last thing you want to do is pull your head out, or try to, like, tell the story for them. So you let them tell it for us. So this Friday we find out what was that about with Gunther. What is Gunther's mission on SmackDown? Is he officially a SmackDown superstar? What's going on over there? Another person that came on, made a debut, the not toxic attraction, fatal influence. Whoa, JC, Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lenny Reid. If I'm not, is that a name? So LR, yeah. So Lenny Reid. So having those three ladies, I don't know if they were like, oh, are they pumping crowd noise and all that? I don't know about that. But having these the three girls um come back in on the show. As I come back in, having the three girls be a part of SmackDown, and having them join in there is amazing. I love that. Um, oh, we have Rigwan back with us. He said we were dealing with unforeseen circumstances, but I think he's back with us for the rest of the show. I believe so. Rigwan, can you hear me? Welcome back on the show. I was trying to keep the show
I can
alive
hear
while
you.
you were out, since we are live. So I was trying to keep the
Thank you
show
very
moving
much.
and pulling.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll get back into things. Obviously, we talk about, so one of the matchups we're going to have on this on Backlash, ladies and gentlemen. Rigwan is back on the show, so we are getting back to the Backlash prediction. So one of the match announced is Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, and over the past couple of months, I told the boys that I really loved everything that Sammy was doing in the back. I'm gonna bring this back to the Nigerian style. This guy, they go through better problem. Like, he's literally going through it. Like, Sammy was literally crashing the fuck out, because yeah, he is. having to lose every big match he's ever had an opportunity in. I mean, we can scale this way back to Canada, Toronto, that fable night, that fable season, that fans were wrestling legends were scared that, oh, Donna might get to lose Cody in this because Sammy became one of the biggest, if not the biggest, baby faces in the history. This boy was big. This guy was huge, and they were able to make Sammy and Cody friends, and fans were able to see them in that, like, okay, they are equals. And Sammy losing to Roman, parlaying that, and all of the losses he's had to take. And one of the things I did not like was him taking Chad Gable's place to go win Gunther at WrestleMania. That was one of the decisions that I did not like. But I loved what I watched. I loved the fact that an underdog like him was able to win. But at the same time, like, in hindsight, I'm like, damn, Gable needed that moment. Gable or Sheamus needed that moment. But Gable needed it more than anybody because of the story they were able to tell with Gable, Chad Gable, I mean, and with his daughter crying in front row. That story was impeccable. They needed to pay that off. They never did. We passed that. And for months in 2025, Sammy has been going through it. Beating up his friend. Literally, his friend now not being able to wrestle at WrestleMania because of his bad neck and having to forfeit the match with Randy Orton. Sammy now scratching, crawling, missing WrestleMania, not having what to do. And dude just couldn't catch a break. And here we are with one of his friends, Cody Rhodes. Every opportunity he gets to lose, they put him in another one. He gets to lose, they put him in another one. Randy, yeah, winning. And Randy saying, no, you are Cody's his friend. And then but was able to just drop Cody just like that and win the John Chamber. Cody was able to get an opportunity and become the golden boy as Sammy would tag him. And this was where Sammy was like, nah, which kind of walla be this? Like, can't a boy catch a break? Like, una no go fit come here, they tell me, say, una be good person. But yeah, una go day, una go use backyard, get some certain things. This one go day, yeah, go politic in way, get this, and I'm supposed to be the one to be. And everybody goes, you have someone like Cody say, this is why you're never gonna be world champion. You have someone like Randy telling him, oh, this is why I'm 40-time champion, and you have nothing to your name. You are not a champion, and it all blows. And something like where am I getting it all wrong here? Like, how do I turn this around for myself? And dude was like, come on, I'm done playing around. I'm done crashing out backstage. I'm done sitting down here and nobody taking my spot, and nobody taking spots and making it. And I'm here trying to suck and doing this shit no more. And Sammy was like, fuck this shit. Sammy went out there, attacked the champion, went out there, win the championship, and here we are, WrestleMania. Sammy made WrestleMania this year at Las Vegas, lost to Trick Williams. Gingerbread Man was born. Little Yachty is yachting with Trick Williams. We now have a star in Trick Williams. Trick really came from nowhere. I was here thinking Trick should have debuted on the main roster years ago when it was the whoop that Trick was big. Like, I'm grateful we got it now because it has become phenomenal. It's now like a global thing. Everybody loves Trick. Trick with his all white. All white is now his shit. And now with everything going on, and now we have the rematch happening at Backlash. Like, dude, your take on all of this craziness. I'm trying to get you back in on things, trying to prep you for this because I'm like, um, I hope this ends. I know Sammy was supposed to be the biggest baby face we are going to look at, but right now, like, Sammy's like, I'm gonna fuck this shit. I ain't doing this shit with you guys. Like, I need my championship back. I need to get my life back on track. I need to get on the winning
Yeah.
ways. Your take on the match?
Yeah. So my take is I'm solidly rooting for Trick on this because, like you said, he just came from nowhere. Nobody expected him to be this big because back then
Exactly.
we felt if he had debuted back then, he would have been bigger. But I think he's also doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
So how for Sammy, I think it's actually a baby face, but somehow it feels like the heel in this whole situation. You get so I- I'm solidly rooting for Trick on this.
Okay. So I know we talked about like a lot of celebrities being on the show and all of that. What's your take with Lily Yachty joining Chick Williams and that pairing?
Okay, for Iliachi, I think it's not actually needed for this. Let me say for this feud, he shouldn't have gotten himself involved. But you know, WWE these days they've actually been like infusing celebrities into some random feuds, just like the way they had the Travis Scott last year. Now they
Yeah,
have Jelly Roll and Liliachi. So, well, let's just see. Let's see what how it plays out at Backlash. But I'm solidly still rooting for Trick on this because right now everybody loves Trick.
yeah. So talking about someone, Little Yachty is with Trick, and Trick was on Stephanie McMahon's what's your story? And I'm gonna talk more on that on the episode on the exclusive. We'll be going in on that sit down conversation. You would love to hear what I have to say on some of the things he said on that podcast. But that episode will be coming out later this week. But for Little Yachty being part of it, he did. I'm gonna go in a little bit on that. He did talk about like Little Yachty calling him and saying, I love being a part of this. I've been a fan of this. Obviously, we've seen Little Yachty in front row seats all of these years. Is a fan, is huge fan of it. Um, Little Yachty, it's all in every week. He's coming to work. He's putting in the work. He's doing that and all of that. Like I have no problem with that. And I'm Trick even dropped the one that Little Yachty said he even wants to wrestle. So he's really taking this managerial role very seriously. He's really taking in being on the road very seriously. So like obviously WWE celebrating everything. So let's see where that goes with that side. But to come back to Earth, um, from somebody that they love to one that we all love. We're gonna talk about the budget cuts. But before we get into that, one of the matchups there was we were supposed to get the closure between Io Sky and Oscar, and the centerpiece of all of this was the girl named Kyrie. So Kyrie saying, funny enough, my godfather named his first daughter after the girl, after Kyrie saying because at the time Kyrie Sane was hot in NXT when she came in doing the Mae Young Classic, being coming into NXT, beating Shayna Baszler, becoming NXT Women's Champion, winning the Mae Young Classic, all of this great, like Kyrie was the biggest thing. And then they named the daughter Kyrie, and they also said I think it means the name means mercy in English, and they call her a native name here Obey. So I don't know what that means over there. Though you can help me clear that out what Obey means, but
Yes.
but like but like in all of this to say, Kyrie Sane was part of the release. That was one of the biggest. What the fuck? Like Kyrie Sane, how? Like this is crazy, and now they are still continuing the story, and I'm like, why would they want to go ahead and touch this story when they know that the centerpiece of this story is Kyrie. I mean, the when Oscar moves away that ninja, Kyrie, that's the fun. And like you fired her when the story is still going on, and you continue the story like what's like it's everything is crazy. I love the sit down on Raw this last night where Iyo telling Oscar like I'm ready for Oscar, and telling her how she expects Oscar and everything, and like she wants to move on now and another. Oscar talking about how Iyo has been disrespectful, how she will teach her lesson and everything, and I love the ending, the way Oscar was like, "Oh, you're ready for me." Okay, and it as if like Iyo is still having obviously because that's the elder. Then so she's like, okay, what does she want to say? What does she want to say? And Oscar just exploded with the mist all over here. I'm like, that was beautiful. That was one of the best heel shit I've seen. Like literally, it's more like fuck you, just spewing the shit all over you, and I'm like, damn, that was crazy. I love that. I love, and with the craziness of like this is like the first time ever that we'll have two Japanese women going having a match in a premium live event. That is history making. Two women that are making history. Two culture differential women. Like it's a whole lot. And then with the craziness that okay, Carrie might be brought back. I'm hearing that. But I don't want to. I'm not believing that shit. until I see it, I'm not believing it. And if it happens, I'll be like, fuck these people, because I know for sure they want to capitalize on what happened with Truth. They want to do the, the Netflix Unreal, all of this craziness. So if it's supposed to be a storyline tactic, then I will give it up to them. They got us. But if Carrie really fired and they went through with this shit sucks. That part about Carrie being fired sucks. But this match, we believe if they can let them go, this is not WrestleMania. This is not your. They should not use commercial breaks and killers. Give these women at least 30 minutes. Let these women go. We need the Oscar of the old. I need my Empress of tomorrow. I need Oscar of NXT of 2015. Bring me the beast. Bring me the Empress. I need those kicks. I need those forearms. I need them. I need to see a fight. I need to be able to show a non-wrestling fan that particular man, like, okay, you say it's fake, watch this. So from my own take, if all were to line up well, I would want to see a world where Kyrie makes a return, and Oscar is like, well, like having a moment of like fans are like going crazy. Jesus, Kyrie is here, and then Oscar signaling, "Oh, I brought her back," kind of thing, and I know, go get ill. And then Kyrie just turns and just levels Oscar, just literally beats the fucking shit out of Oscar, allowing Iyo to be like, Iyo, just take it away. I would love to say that that would be one of the best moments we can have in 2026. If they could give us that, which they can. I mean, come on. If somebody from TKO is walking away with 67.4 million US dollars as a bonus, why can't they spend a couple of thousands to get Kyrie back just to give us that moment? Because I mean, come on. So yeah, my prediction would be I predict that EO wins with Kyrie coming back if we get to that. But if we don't get to see that, maybe EO still wins. My take. Yeah, Rick one waiting for you.
Okay, that's a good one. But I feel like I will say I'll give this one to Oscar. But it's crazy the way they just moved on um like Kyrie didn't exist.
Nothing.
Is
Yes,
like
WWE do
it's
that a lot.
very yeah, it's very very crazy. But I just feel like if this is like a storyline for her to return, it would be really really amazing. Like they really got us there. But I just the most the most painful aspect is that they just moved on immediately as if she doesn't exist. But I feel it's been pretty good. The feud has been pretty good, but I feel like this particular match at Backlash, I'm giving it to Asuka because she's been like dominant.
Yeah.
She's been doing well, and shout out to Io Sky. Not trying to disrespect her, but she has also been doing pretty well. But I just feel
Yeah.
like Asuka has this particular win at Backlash.
Okay. That's that's crazy because yeah, it's one of those ones where you look at it and you're like, it's different. But well, it's nice to have that. So in terms of and one of the matchups that we are excited to see. So for the world heavyweight, wait, how many matches is that? So we had the United States Championship match. We have Oscar and Io. We have Danhausen, and that's three. What's the fourth match on this show before the main event?
Undisputed, and I think the whatever championship is there.
Yes, I
Which
want
other
to talk
match
about
again?
that last. What other? Do we have four matches as of right now?
I think it's four matches.
As of right now, we only have four. No
Yeah, I
fifth
think
match has
so.
been announced yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, so as of right now, so the World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. We'll go in on that on a very sincere way. So Roman um, got back to the winning curve. during WrestleMania, Royal Rumble season, he was on Pat McAfee's show, and he did voice his opinion on how he's given everybody 2 years, like 2 years for people to get over, 2 years for people to get their shit in, 2 years for people to do their own shit, and 2 years of him taking the back seat and not getting anywhere close to the championship. And they all fumbled the ball. They all have nobody has gotten over. Everybody is the shit. Roman's words, not mine. And you see how he's like Royal Rumble is taking back the ball. He won the Royal Rumble match. He went straight in for Punk. He told Punk he hates him. He literally went in on Punk and all of that, and Punk literally, went low. And all of the shit that has happened with those guys, leading up to them having one of the best main events we've seen in the past years, and then Roman now becoming weekly. I mean, the one criticism that he was being given is the one he's trying to turn over. So he's here every week now. He's on the show. He's opening the show. He's closing the show. He's in the middle of the show. He's all over the show. Um, he's champion, and funny enough, he's with the championship that they created just so that Roman could keep his. And it's funny how after all of these years, is holding that championship now. And it's just like a whole lot when it comes to that. And at the end of the day, we look at it and we have someone like Jacob Fatu come into the picture, the Samoan werewolf. He's, came in hot at some point, cool down, got his movement at WrestleMania last year, winning the United States champion from LA Knight. He's actually taking a back seat only to be able to come back to WrestleMania having one of a good match, not a great one, but at least a good one. Winning that, and then the very next night is going straight to Roman, telling Roman, I mean, I need everything that you have so that I could be able to take care of my own family. And Roman is like, I'm trying to, put food in all of our family this thing. And Fatu's like, fuck that shit. And trying to talk about, I'm not talking about anything way. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about my own family. I mean, you've got something going on for your own. I need something for mine, and all of that. And this feud has been something crazy. Haku's Tonga death grip has been brought to limelight again. And Roman explaining that last night was impeccable with him saying, I mean, come on, that's what we use to get out of fights. That's what we use when we are, when we have a very crazy situation. And this is what you're using on family. We don't use that on family. And all of the craziness that has to ensure. And right now, Jacob Fatu is has a fight, and I saw Jacob has been all over ESPN today. It's just all of these things all in one. But that says, come Saturday, Jacob and Roman are going one on one. And if Roman has a say in this should be one of those main events we'll look into years from now and be like, well, that was a banger. I trust them with the match. And but the outcome, I don't know what to expect because we don't know what to actually expect. So can Roman win? I can't tell you that. Should Jacob win? I don't know about that. So from if I were to be forced, I would say, could they just do something out of left field? Could they shock us? Could they just shake the system and have Jacob Fatu beat Roman Reigns? So I'm going one of the most oddest because it's so predictable. It feels it's all Roman Reigns, but I would want to really have like fuck this shit up, and just let's go with Jacob right now. Let's just shock the entire system.
Okay, so that's a good one. So for me, I would say, um, consider the fact that Roman just had his previous championship reign has been very dominant and historic. So I don't think his current reign is just gonna be for a few weeks. But personally, I want Jacob to win. But you know how things goes. I'm pretty sure it's gonna. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Roman. So the thing is, they've so far the feud has been cooking. The build up has been active. So, and I trust they are going to deliver a banger at Backlash because because usually all Jacob's matches great or average. He has any match I can categorize as a bad match. You understand? So I'm rooting for Jacob, but I know Roman is going to have the win. But it would be great if they shock us by handing the win to Jacob Fatu. That's my take.
Okay. So Roman stays on top for you.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was five match. I was going through my notes and I saw we were missing the match, and that's Braun Breaker Seth Rollins. So
Oh,
the vision. So the vision is taking center stage at Backlash. This story writes itself. You brought somebody in. Somebody thought he has become bigger than you. We've seen that story play out in our even in our own personal life where we're like we'll go somewhere like I think I'm bigger than this. Fuck this shit. Out of here. I don't want to do this shit no more. And then it turns to a problem. Just at that, even where I go out to the other station with somebody that was working with somebody just barely 6 months, like I mean, I can do it by myself now. And we found that even with kids, where we're like, oh, we feel like we can handle ourselves. Oh, we feel like we're independent now. So it's just a whole lot, and that's what's going on with Breaker and Seth. And I like what Seth, sorry, what Braun told Seth. Seth's like, I mean, whatever you do, all your career, you've been building to all just be the best at being number two. And that was a fucking shoot because that was real. Because if you look at the career of Seth Rollins, it's as if it can never surpass. There was a point Seth was like the man, but even he knows that he's not bigger than when the company always wanted Roman, and Roman they would go, and that's crazy at that. And then Cody comes to the picture, and then Punk, and then Drew, and then Fatu, and it's as if no matter what Rollins does, no matter how the rest have to go far, like he's still going to be like one of the best hand to have. Like, oh, he's a good hand. He's that best guy if Roman is not free. He's our best guy if Punk is not ready. He's our best guy. Like he's the reserve. He's the substitute. He's the sub. The best at number two. That was real. And then I know the Bron Breaker's whole hint to Bron Breaker was more of like an insult. But I love that too. Where it'd be like, I mean, it's like even in your family, you're not even the best, and that shit was crazy because like it gives a callback because when Braun came to NXT, we were like, why didn't they just call him Braun? Like, can we not just acknowledge his roots? We all know that that's the Steiner kid right there. But they did not even, give him his name and all of that. So, I mean, come on. Maybe they wanted to cover his own legacy, but that should always roll with him. So, Backlash, we have these two go at it. Is this going to be a coming out party for uh, one Braun Breaker and see where it goes from there? At this point, it's the one I don't want to end anytime soon. So I would say Braun Breaker wins, maybe with an interference, and have this shit continues. Your take, Rewan.
okay. My take is I'm also with that. I think Braun Breaker is gonna have the win because if you notice, Braun and Obafemi has been like the two guys that has the potentials in WWE to be the next big things in WWE.
Yes.
So I feel like they are gonna make him feel big at Backlash. They are going to make him prove a point at Backlash. Due to his injury, he has been absent for a while. So this is return. He is going to make a statement with it. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna do something crazy, either through the help of the vision,
Yeah.
the usual way they do it. But I feel
Yeah.
ultimately he's gonna have to win. So I'm rooting for Braun on this.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the backlash predictions. Like we promised, we would go in here. So by Sunday night, live here on After the Match podcast here on Hello Media. Also in combination with Sports Network, we'll be able to come in to talk about the full show. By God's grace, we'll be able to sit there and analyze the full card and go in on who took the most losses for the predictions tonight. But yeah, one of the advertised here is Triple R. So Triple R's biggest feud is Chad Gable, Ludwig Kaiser. We all know the real Americano and the original Americano. So it's just like a crazy situation
Americano.
of that. So the Americanos are having a crazy situation, and now the Creed brothers have been dragged into this shit. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates are also dragged into this. So it's just like it's so crazy how those guys are like the biggest thing in Triple R, and then they come to the states and it's like nobody cares. But we love to watch them on social media. I want to watch them on YouTube, but like
Yeah,
keep it over
it's
there.
ridiculous.
When you go, like, it's like night and
Okay.
day. Like we like what's the thing? Because I get to watch. I see clips. Also, then like when I tune in on the show, I'm like, damn, the crowd is hot. The place is rowdy. I mean, look at that brawl they had that we saw clips all over social media. Everybody talked about it. All
Yeah,
the media picked it up. And then you have them on and tribulation like, oh, I need that sauce. Yeah, and nobody cares. Finally,
it's
like
crazy,
immediately
like
they want them.
very crazy.
Oh, what like damn. I don't even know what equivalents do we have in any like it's so mad. It's so mad. So yeah, I know their match is coming up, and like they had a great 6-man tag on Raw last night. I don't know if you saw the match. Or what was your take on that? And like your take on the feud and with what the Undertaker is doing over there down there in Triple I. Like, what's your take on the entire thing? Great commentary. I love me some JBL and a great commentary by Corey Graves there. So yeah, your take on like Triple R as a whole and everything going on with Grande Americanos, the real and the original. Original.
Okay, I think it's a pretty great show. I like what the Undertaker is doing there. It's been really impressive. I think it's very underrated also. It has
Mm,
great potentials of becoming main event stuff. That the qualities they put out there is really good. The from and we also have to acknowledge the fact that the commentary is top notch, like you said, top notch.
yes.
So I think it's a great show. Just it's just underrated. That's it.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. So advertised there. I know we not really get that in. So one of the things we're gonna talk about. I don't know if do you dabble in the world of all elite wrestling?
Not really. I don't really watch AEW that much. Just once in a while.
You need to talk about that. AW came out 2019. I was all over that product. I was after my NXT AW, after AW NXT, after NXT AW, and all of it. We've gone through the changes all over the years and all of the craziness that's happened, all of that, and all. It's as if I'm not a pay-per-view only guy with them. I just watch the pay-per-views. My first pay-per-view that I've not watched in years. Like this is the first time I've missed pay-per-view, and that was this the last AW Dynasty because I was like WrestleMania weekend and I'm already trying to go this bad taste out of my mouth. It
Yeah.
was like a whole lot. So yeah, I could not really get into things, and I'm like, I just need to get back in. So, but why did you stop watching? Let's address that. We are on the show. We are live. Let's go.
It's not that I really stopped watching, but I didn't really pay attention to it. I usually watch it though, but not. I don't pay much attention to it the way I do with WWE. It's more like a secondary option for me. But I
I
still
mean,
watch it, but not. I don't follow up the way I watch weekly on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown.
but you know that Darby Allin is champion.
Yeah, I know. I still get update on AW.
But at the end of the
Um,
day, with what MJF has been doing as champion and just having that ripped out and just to fix fit in Darby Allin and all of the challenges he's been having, open challenge, even the great match with Tommaso Ciampa and all of that shit. I don't know if you got your eyes on that. Like, what's
mm,
your take on like this whole situation going on right now with Darby Allin as champion and actually getting it on WrestleMania weekend and all of that? Great, like if you just could say anything on that.
sorry, I didn't hear you. Come again.
I'm like your take on Darby as champion right now, taking it off MJF that was doing something good with it, and I don't know why they would do that. No shock value and all of that, but like with it being on Darby Allin with Wembley coming up and all of that, and that with Will Ospreay that was supposed to be a centerpiece of that. Like just the general your general thoughts on the all of those craziness.
Okay, MGF have done pretty well for himself, and he has done pretty well with the title. So let's just see what Darby Allin has in store, and let's see what he can offer. So we can't really write him off just like that. But we still have to acknowledge the fact that MJF has been incredible. Very, very, he has been doing magical things with it. But since we have Darby in the picture now, let's just hope he can do better.
Chris Jericho, everybody was thinking Chris Jericho will be coming back to wrestling, but with WWE, but that did not happen. He came back and he went back to his home in AEW, his home, according to him. I just wanted to ask your take on that, what you thought about that, where you saw him come back to wrestling, but went back to AEW instead of coming to WWE.
Yeah, I was like, to be honest, I was pretty disappointed because I really expected him, especially from the Royal Rumble era period. I expected him as a surprise entrance because Y2J is someone like I really, really love. I respect him a lot. I love right from the his early days in WWE. I've been following up with him. So he's a legend and let me say a future WWE Hall of Famer. So I was like expecting him as a surprise entrance, but unfortunately he wasn't there. Mm. So hopefully sometime, hopefully he returns and give his fans in WWE what they want. And let's say if he's like maybe it's time for him to retire, I just hope they don't feed him to the career killer Gunter. So that's
You know for sure
something.
Gunther is taking that. That's for Gunther. He's going to be fed.
Yeah. Mm,
Gunther needs to be fed.
so he's someone that he's someone that I think a lot of people will be happy to have back in WWE. So hopefully, I just hope he returns before he officially retires.
Talking about somebody that we have all come to love, that we hope is not retiring anytime soon, and that is somebody I'm going to on this show. I'm going to try and keep up with whenever we're talking about the show before that, at least before we finish the show, before whatever happens, I need to acknowledge someone that I feel might be underrated. Either we are not really talking about their matches or talking about them in general. And one of my highlights, one of my the first person to take up this mantle would be JD fucking McDonough. My God. I just was going through my notes, and for the past couple of weeks, all these minor roles, I've been having Jordan motherfucking Devlin McDonough. JD McDonough has always been on my notes. I had him on my notes the other Raw. We could not record. I have him on my notes the other one. I have him on notes for Raw this week. And like the fact that John Devlin, JD, as they will call him, McDonald has been so underrated. The matches this boy has been turning out, and using that head of his to to cause havoc and to to like he's just that good. And I was watching the match with Finn Balor last night, and that Spanish Fly, like Jesus, I was like literally that's like a finisher because he literally landed on his shoulder, be on his neck, and I'm like you could see the welts on Finn Balor's back and all of that, and sometimes we just want to breeze through the story and like forget the players that are making forming the story. Like we know that McDonough is not like the focus of this whole thing. But I couldn't help last night but notice that I've been drinking this McDonald's Kool-Aid since NXT UK, but I took a break when it was repackaged and came back to NXT 2.0. But like since that incident on Raw where JD took that was it a moonsault or was it pushed off or something and then he landed on his neck, that whiplash on Raw months ago that he almost died, but still, was able to get back up and get back into the ring and perform and have the audience on Monday Night Raw realizing what they just saw. And everybody, all the fans stood up and gave JD McDonough a standing ovation. And by the way, he was the bad guy in this match. But the fans was like, I don't care if you're bad, I don't care if you're evil, but my goodness, you almost died right there, but you got back up and you want to finish your job. To us, that deserve nothing more than a fucking applause. And I couldn't help but, you know, uh, give him that because you couldn't even imagine, him not being able to. And I had to, I had to, I had to give him that applause because it's one of those ones that you sit back on and you're like, damn. So I just wanted to like first of all just JD give him a shout out, and then on the return of investment, um, I mean, come on, Ethan Page and Javon Evans, those two guys, and shout out to Rusev on the underrated side. I mean, Rusev have been doing a great lot. I mean, I'm happy he was not part of the cuts. Rusev has really turned out good shits since coming back to WWE. So, just wanted to, I don't know if you are seeing everything I'm also seeing, and like, would want to get your take on these guys I just mentioned here because I just want to give some love to the guys because my God, they've really, they got me there. They got me. I literally watched those guys and that tag team match. I'm like, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
Rigward.
So for the, I can hear you. So for the
Mm,
JD McDonald, I agree with you from that aspect. He's a very, very underrated performer because that that stunt he pulled there right there was it was very, very risky, and the fact that people applauded him was I'm very impressed with that, and I think they appreciate him for that. They appreciate
yeah.
him for that. He's really underrated though. But I think with time he will get his flowers because he's been doing pretty well. He's been doing pretty well. Even
Well,
with the Judgment Day, he's been doing amazing.
I'm giving him
And
flowers right here. I mean, like,
yeah,
damn, that is sincerely.
he's been doing amazing. He's been doing amazing. And for Rusev, Rusev is someone I think. Uh, Let me just say, I feel like Rusev, his time has passed. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but
Damn, with one.
yeah, but I don't think he can win a title in WWE again. Except maybe he can win maybe a mid card title, maybe for a short while, just a mid card title. But I don't see them putting him in a bigger picture. Yeah, but it's just like a stepping stone right now. But he's an amazing performer. He's great. He's talented and all. So big shout out to him. And also Devon Evans is very talented. Someone there's a dream match I've always wanted. Devon Evans versus Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. So with the recent release of the New Day, it's so painful that we we couldn't get that match. But I think that match would have been it it, it would have been what's the hype you get. So Jivon is amazing, JD McDonald is amazing, and and Forusev is amazing also. He's been doing pretty well. He's a wonderful performer. But I just feel like WWE has dropped the ball on him. It's more like a gatekeeper. He's playing the gatekeeper role right now.
Mm,
Yeah, you understand. It's more like a gatekeeper. They are not trying to push him that hard. But
yes.
he's a talented performer. We can't take that away from him. He's very talented, and so we give him his flowers also.
Yeah. So talking about giving people flowers, we give flowers to those that are able to go through this tough time and keep their head up high. One of the advertised thing for the show tonight was the obviously the if you see our thumbnail, WWE firings and the releases. And I just wanted us to get in on that as the last thing to end the show, so that we can go through the names of those on this list. One of the people on, we'll start with the Wyatt Six. So the entire group was let go. Eric Warren, Uncle Howdy, that was Bo Dallas, the late great Bray Wyatt's brother, Lexter Lumas, Joe Gacy, Nikki Cross. They were all let go. I'm like, I'm gonna get in on this list with you, Rigwan. So, Rigwan, when you see someone like people like the Wyatt's being released, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I understand, we hearing now that some wrestlers have agreed to getting a pay cut of 50%. Like, that is crazy to me to sit down here and know that someone like Ari Emanuel is going home as of last year with 67.4 million just for bonuses, and Shapiro is going home with 42.6 million, and you can pay wrestlers a couple of thousands, and you are even asking for. I mean, just imagine you earning 50,000, 100,000. Somebody coming to tell you, well, you still have to do what you're supposed to do, if not more. But I can't pay you what I signed you for, so I need we will pay you 50 from now on. That sucks. That is like that's like somebody fucking you from behind, and like that just sucks. And I just couldn't, I just can't sit there on the phone. I'm like, listen to them, like, damn, what people have to go through with. It's not like the economy is pleasing over there too. So everybody's just going through it. If you're going through it, I'm going through it, and realizing that WWE is the only company inside the company that is making TKO the bundles of money they're having, and that's like the most return on investment in from their company. And we know they are bankrupt, we know they are broke. So using WWE and the fans and the audience actually screwing with our creative, screwing with the company, while this company is making you thousands and thousands of millions hand over fist, and you turn back and you're fucking the entire business. It's just a whole lot. We see them like Santo Escobar being released, Apollo Cruz. I'm even shocked Apollo Cruz lasted this long. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. The church that is doing it for him over in Nigeria is really a strong one. But I mean, the it has expired because it's out. I'm not celebrating somebody getting fired here, but I'm just like, damn, I'm just shocked it lasted this long. Tara may still. This was just part of the LFG season one. As Tariq Igwe and the other Tyson, so his partner, gone. Most machine gun that just got signed, just literally like, I mean, the Friday that made them 1 year returning, they did not even make it to see the 1 year of their debut in the company. That's sick to me. Gone. Alistair fucking Black did never make it to 1 year too. So I mean, this time around, they sent him home with his wife, Zelena Vega, Zoe Sachs. This one literally broke my fucking heart. This lady, I could still hear bones crackle and pop in that ring. We're doing that match with Iyo and I believe Kyrie. And when she literally, shredded her leg, and literally this lady was out there rehabbing to get back to the, and just when she was cleared, fired. And Kyrie said, wow, to me. Kaylee Ray, Abba Fire, fired. I mean, and now New Day, the New Day in Kofi Kingston and Woods, Kofi has worked here since 2006. Woods has been here since 2010. Up, down, down. All of the crazy New Day shares, everything, all gone. Rigwan, what do you make of all of this crazy shit?
Okay, I think the releases they've been quite unexpected. Nobody saw them coming, especially for the names, the likes of Kyrie saying, um, Aleister Black. So that's someone that really pains me the most, because how can you bring someone back just to release him less than a year? Is kind of disrespectful, man. It's That's one of the most painful parts of the releases. Also, the Wired Six, I think they were doing pretty well, but I really don't know why they had to let them go, because they were doing pretty well and they were making a name for themselves in WWE. So, like you said, the only person I would say I'm surprised he lasted this long is Apollo Crews, because he really shows up on TV self. He really shows up. So I
Hmm.
think the releases in general were kind of unexpected. Nobody saw them coming. They are they were very very unexpected. But let's see how things plays out, if with the trending bring Kyrie back, if they will listen and probably bring her back at Backlash. Yeah, but if there's someone else I would also love to get back is Aleister Black, because he has great potentials, but they are not just utilizing him very well. I remember when he had a feud with Buddy Murphy back then. They both did well. They are excellent performers, but it's so unfortunate that they dropped the ball on Aleister Black and just let him go like that. But all good. Just keep being hopeful if Kyrie would return at Backlash.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I don't even know where we could go from here, but all I know is that it's been a pretty hectic week. It's been a crazy situation, and I love the opportunity to be able to come in here at least once every week. And for this week, hoping to come in twice this week. Oh shit. Oh, Sunday would not be possible, guys. Sunday would not be possible, guys. Because on Sunday, May 10th, I'll be out at the Dome Municipality Secretariat Garden, the location, the venue, the hall. I'll be out at the Dome. If you are in Calabar, I'll be out at the Dome supporting Mr. and Miss Campos Nigeria pageant and Southern Award Night event. The show is gonna be a goddamn show, and I'll be out there representing Hello Media. I'll be putting in the work and all of that. I don't know about catching up on Backlash. I hope I do. So Monday will be active for me. I'm gonna take off on Monday. So when we get back on Monday, we'll see how we could get back to things. If so, we're pushing the show to Monday night. But if that doesn't happen, I will get to update the crew and get to update everybody if we're gonna push it to Tuesday like this Tuesday night, which I highly doubt I will get to do that because I'm like, no. I think we have to fit it on Monday. So next time you get to see us on will be like let's say 6 to 7 days to today. After the match broadcast will be back on your screens and on your listening as you listen to watching us on YouTube here on Elo Media or on Spotify Network where we are on collaborating. Thank you so very much. If you are listening to us via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to us on. Thank you so very much. We couldn't do this without you. Um, I also thank Rigwan for joining us on the show. Thank you so very much, man, for doing that, and I'm excited to have you on here. With that, man, thank you, and we call it a show. Thank you, guys, and good night.